And we're back with another episode of Let's Play Wild Arms 3. I'm your host, the RPG guy. And we're back in Claiborne, and we need to talk to the people here, because we have no idea really where to go until we talk to people. And who we're supposed to talk to, I think it's the dude in the barn. Have you heard the story about the Guardian Idol of Desire? It's an ancient artifact that supposedly makes its owner rich. I heard the idol was bought by a wealthy merchant named Wheatley from East Highlands. Supposedly bought it off of someone from this village. But I hear the Guardian of Desire is pretty fickle and won't stay too long with one owner. I wonder where the idol is now. The idol, that information is actually relevant if you don't know where the idol is. We do, so we don't need to do too much with regards to that. But it's an interesting kerfluffle, as one could say, trying to figure out the details of that. So we're looking for someone specific in town. It's the guy with the long name. I can't remember. It's Sahasini or something. It was in here last time we saw him, but I think the NPCs move once in a while. He's in town somewhere, but he's going to be the one that gives us the information we need to kind of move on. You know what? I don't see him over here. There he is, Disinzi. That's why I can't pronounce his name, because it's such a weird name. Ugh. The Northwest Tower was used to catch monsters back in the day. So what happened to all the captured monsters, you ask? I hear they were taken away to a place only accessible by air, where they were dissected and disposed of. So the Northwest Tower. What happened to all the captured monsters? And you hear it go bling, even though there's no location there. It was only accessible by air. Yeah, I know. It's a big... It's not a lot of information. It's actually one of the places where people new to the game kind of get stuck. But don't worry, guys. We're going to do a few things first before we get there.
So, you refuse to share the whereabouts of the teardrop?
If you really want to know, why don't you go out and do your own research? Although I can understand how you're probably too embarrassed to walk around in public with that clunky outfit.
Obstinate wench! The truth of the matter is, I can glean information directly from your mind, without your confession. I was hoping you would speak out, but I guess it cannot be helped. Leholt.
No. Is that the... No. And when this game kind of came out, I was like, oh dear God, it better not be like a porno. Don't worry, I'm going to give you that much. It's not a porno. Alright, let's move here. So we can do a few things. I went and fought some random battles, so we had 50 dragon fossils. We were 3 short. Normally I have more than enough to do what I need to do, but we didn't, surprisingly, this playthrough. So I went over to Serpent's Coil and fought some jellies till I got it. Hence why you probably saw a bunch of gems in there. A bunch of gems more than I normally have. Alright, so first things first, we need to get to Little Twister, so I can explain something very clear, because we finally have access to this. And it's something you ought to know. Just saying. So we're in Titty Twister. I mean Little Twister. My grandmother mentioned this town by the slip of her tongue once. I thought maybe it had something to do with father's bankruptcy. If you go around the Cape of Sand Canal and head north, you'll arrive at a giant crater. It is said a floating city from the ancient past fell from the sky and landed there. Now, why would people want to live up in the sky? I wonder. I already know that. And then you want to go to the black market? Forget it. If you have any business with Travis, go through me. People around here are just looking for their next target to scam. This isn't a place for children to come waltzing in. Got it? Yeah, shut up. This is a rumor that came floating in from way northeast, but it goes like this. Somewhere deep in the mountains sleeps this thing called a dragon. It's most powerful and even has steel wings. It'll be an easy way to strike it rich if you could catch it and tame this thing. That way you would be able to fly anywhere you want. The sky would be the limit for all your dreams. Interesting, isn't it? Well, that's something for us to keep track of. That's for sure. But we're not here for mostly that. We're here to talk about something very important. That's the armsmith, right? Yeah, no. We need to go... this him away. And then this him away. Go to your inventory. And we're looking for the black pass we found in the last dungeon. And welcome to the black market. Now, yeah, I could have bought them, but why buy them when you can get them for free? Now you might say, oh look, the black market. There's an EX file key. That's endgame shit. Let me explain what happens here. Let's go and sell something. Something we have much of. Maybe too much of. We could sell, for example, a hazel sprig. I don't know. Let me see. Do we have one of these that's more than normal? Not really. Not really, but we'll do the hazel spring because it nullifies. Well, wait a minute. Do we have one that nullifies poison? Okay, no. So we'll do this one, hazel sprig. So we sell them the hazel sprig, and look at that. We can now buy a hazel sprig for 25,000. You can do this with every status affecting item except for one because it's glitched. And it never got fixed, to my understanding. That's the Holy Ankh. So never sell this dude the Holy Ankh. I can't stress that enough. I learned that my first playthrough when I just sold him pretty much everything I had because I'm like, oh, I can just grind the money. And then I sold him the Holy Ankh. So I sold him all of the status stuff. And I noticed that the Holy Ankh didn't show up. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And so I reloaded. And I tried again. And then I tried again. And then I tried again. And then I even tried again. And it didn't work. So it doesn't work. I don't know if it works in the Japanese version or not. But if it does, that would actually make the game a lot easier. Like, the Japanese version would be legitimately easier than the English American... or the American EU version. European version, rather. PAL version. Anywho... let's go ahead and... I don't want to waste a warp star, so we're going to take a train. Wasting a warp star is not a good thing for what we're about to do. We need to... in order for us to continue the story here, we've got to get to a very specific area that we've not really been to yet, called the Inner Sea. Now, the Inner Sea is pretty much what the guys were talking about with the dragons and blah-de-blah-de-blah. The issue with the Inner Sea is that it's not exactly a safe place to go. Wait a minute, where do I want to... Dune Canyon, South Farm. It should be Midland Station, right? Should be Midland Station. Anyway, what was I saying? What was I getting at? Oh yeah, so there's a big deal about where we gotta go. And there's a conflict. There's a boss that's actually blocking access to the inner sea, which means we need to use our awesome cannon thing. No, wait a minute, where am I? Yeah, we're in the right place. Alright, but first things first, let us equisize our wild stallions. Because we're going to make a stop at the, God damn it, didn't make the jump. We're going to make the stop at the farm, the berry farm. Knott's Berry Farm. Alright. The Secret Garden. Sounds like a place that sells lingerie. Hi, welcome to the Secret Garden. Would you like to try out our huge assortment of thongs? Alright, so harvest. Nice. That is nice. That and there's a thing of beauty. And we're maxed out on potion berries. So because we burnt through a bunch of these a bit more than I was hoping for earlier, we've got 67 full carrots. We're doing pretty good on full carrots. We need some revives. We're gonna leave some full carrots in here, just for those of you pondering why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want more revived fruits. Three, four, five. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll leave those in there. Now what we're going to do is soon we're going to probably start working on some of the more rare things to harvest. But yeah, that's going to be a little bit more for some work here. So, okay. But we're loaded up on the large carrots, so that's what's important. We want a boss fight to end rather quickly. A nice smorgasbord of those guys ain't gonna hurt you whatsoever. Let's see if we can freaking get over here. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna head to Jolly Roger, where we're gonna make a save. But sometimes I screw things up, and it should be noted that if I screw this up, it's going to take me quite a while to correct it. So So we need to go to the Sandcraft. Son of a bitch, really? Fine. We'll use the Warp Star. Let's take our horse over there, though. We don't have to worry about it later. And there it is, right there. So what I did was the Warp Star will move usually your vessel, the Sandcraft. I even believe it moves your horse, so I probably didn't need to take it, but we wanted to get over there quickly. But it does all that stuff for you. So Warp Stars are pretty powerful. That's the thing, though, is they're expensive to buy through the market. But through the black market, but that won't be. That's not something we're even remotely worried about. I can engineer the latest, most powerful parts in a jiffy as long as I have dragon fossils. Let me take care of your upgrades and replacements so you can focus on becoming a first-rate dunefarer. So, parts. We want the Arc Smasher, even though that looks pretty good. The hit option and bullet count on this thing is just that much better. A higher crit, weighs a little bit more, but the Scud Cannon 3 does a little bit more damage, but the Arc Smasher is the way to go. This is not negotiable. Get the freaking Arc Smasher. It will solve all of your travel problems. So let's change the Revolver Cannon to the Arc Smasher, which is substantially better than what we have. And we can figure these out later. Mostly you just really want to upgrade the Econo Frame out later, and that's only if you really need to. But we're pretty much done dealing with upgrading the Sandcraft for a while. Trust me on this. I mean, like I said, we'll upgrade the other stuff, but that won't even come until much later. And we'll have to have dragon fossils. Probably maybe 50, 60 to 70 dragon fossils to burn. Which, remember, they drop in random battles now, so... Alright. So let's take a look at our map here. So the Inner Sea... I want to say, to try to explain where it is, you can kind of see, you see where the green square is? It's just to the east of there, I believe, is the Inner Sea. So, but that's really what you need to know. Talking to some people, well, you know what, maybe we should just do that for the sake of doing that, so it doesn't look like I just know everything by osmosis here. Let's discuss what we need to know. Talk to some of the people in town. Okay, nothing new here. And nothing there. There might not actually be any direct info in this town, but I thought I'd check anyway. Pass the island with the Order's Temple, head southeast and you'll find a place separated from the mesas. You can only get there by crossing the Inner Sea. Inside is a village surrounded by peace. This place is called Laxisland. Or Lax Island. I call it Laxisland. Some people call it Lax Island, but whatever. I call it Laxisland. The people there still pass on legends of dragons long forgotten. So that's the guy you really want to talk to. So you know that if you go into the Inner Sea, there's an area within the Inner Sea, and that there's a town there. That's interesting. Interesting stuff indeed. But the catch is we gotta get there. So, to the Inner Sea we go. Fastest way to get there is to pretty much head around the sand sand canal to the northeast. No, that won't jet us out where we want to be, though. Actually, yeah, it will. So we can just go under the bridge. I'm trying to figure out the fastest way to get there. So, or we just go south around the Arc of Destiny island. Yeah, we'll just do that. This just is quick. So let's head out, ignoring most battles as we come to them. Alright, where are we? Way over there. So we need to go east-ish. And work our way kind of to the south here. Oops. Yeah, you notice that jumped up really quick. Now, I want to say it's one of these crevices holds some info of interest to us. But I could be wrong. So none of those areas we could get in. Where did I disappear off to? Oh, over there. So let's try... What's the other way we can get in? Let's go back to Jolly Roger. May want to reset our encounter rate, but I think we'll be okay. There is an area to the south, in the south part of the inner sea, we might be able to enter. We're gonna try that. Because it's easy to warp there. Something huge slides towards the sandcraft through the quicksand. What could it be? So, yeah. And obviously you can't destroy this thing unless you've got the beef to do it. I want to do the harpoon. Oh yeah, you heal yourself there, buddy. Fire all ammo at once. That's what we were waiting for. I don't need to say anything more, do I? Because that was badass! But that's what you spend your freaking fossils on. Just blast that solemn bitch into oblivion. Was so fierce that it crushed reefs and altered the very shape of the land. Bits of wood and cloth were scattered among the chunks of broken rock like the aftermath of a great shipwreck. Most of the baggage was smashed to two pieces, but a single suitcase floated defiantly. Virginia tried to retrieve the luggage before sinking again beneath the waves of sand. And we get the suitcase. Yay. So I think that's not what I was looking for. Let's do it real quick. Since we're here, shouldn't be too hard. It's only level 2. It be one of these. We'll just do the obvious thing first. Let's see what we have left. So, pretty much kind of solved this one. If you haven't figured it out how we're gonna solve it, I'm for shame. But yeah, they gave us a lot of the tools to kind of already work with. May as well just get rid of that extra red block. Good. Good. And there it is. First try, guys. First try. Well, it was only a 2-star. And looky. A duplicator. Can never have too many of those. Because there's a finite amount of them. So, getting them earlier is better than later. I assure you. Okay. That wasn't what we were looking for. I could have sworn there was a town up there. That's why I'm reluctant to fight anything, because that's something later. Let's head back to the sandcraft for a minute. Let me see here. Do. We're gonna have to fight a battle here soon because we can't keep running. Oh, maybe it's down in here. Yeah, I just don't want to keep running because we're eventually going to get to a point here where we're going to get attacked and punished for doing this. Dodged. You're wondering, you can't hit the hidden with physical attacks unless you meet a certain set of conditions, so it's just easier to blast them away with magic. God damn it, Gallows. Yes. Laxisland. I don't know why I went to that big mountain earlier. We're going to be going there pretty soon, but yeah, I was being weird. Alright, we've arrived at Laxisland. The land of laxatives. Anyway, grab one of those. I think we're good on everything else. Get some cash out of that. Alright, let me think here. So let's go into the armsmith. Expert, you want to take cursed dolls from me? They say bring gory death to owner. Please, you take for me. We'll take it. It's so creepy. Long time I searched for new owner. Thank you, thank you. And we get the Kramer dolls. Okay, so the Kramer dolls will summon monsters, but what you need to know, I'll explain to you. South Fire Mountain. I know when you get fried like chicken. You need this to continue the story, but more importantly, in a way, for later, it's going to be used to summon those imprisoned bosses that I told you about, where we saw those little areas that in which they were covered up. Yeah, it's really for that stuff. That's coming later, I assure you. But yeah, it's all about that. Yeah. Not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and build up. Yeah, we'll build up Clive here because Jet's doing okay. He'll have to wait it out a bit longer, but giving Clive that level is at 150 damage versus Jet's 120. So we have nothing else to sell or do here, so we'll move on. Took a lot of our money, I know, guys. It always does. Grab that revived fruit. I know of a nice unreachable town, unreachable on foot or by ship. It lies at those coordinates. Write those down for those of you at home. I'll forget anyway, but I know pretty much where he's talking about. It's called Balak Rise, an interesting hideaway sporting a spyglass on the roof. I can get there using a special item of mine, but it's totally out of reach for most people. With a dragon at your command, however, you could probably just zoom straight there. So they're giving you a lot of information pretty much about what you need to do. And it'll make sense in due course. That. And let's go up this way. That was a mistake. Believe there we go. That covers all the items in town. Let's rest because we need it to recover our encounter gauge. Now you'll notice that encounter gauge is actually causing us some dismay, but we're going to be able to rectify that issue very, very soon here. Some of you are like, you're already this far in the game and you're only at 13 hours. It's like, yeah, you know, there's a whole structure of information behind it. would you ask of a dragon? Dragons are not property. They listen to no one. But if you must ask, give the dragon something in return. Then your request may be granted. The dragon seeks to satisfy a single desire. It is that which she cannot have. No matter how strong in battle, no matter how swift in flight, it taunts her forever out of reach. It is to cease being a dragon. It is to lay her infernal wrath to eternal rest. It is to be free from her bonds to this war-torn world. I'm not sure what they were trying to say, but so many have drifted through here seeking to conquer the dragon. Galahad. Alright. You be careful and no wander into Dragon's Lair. It inside Fire Mountain to south. Dragon's story help out town. But real dragons scare us stiff. Okay. So, there's apparently a place that we need to go to. Take a look at the Forest of Grave Markers. That's what happens to Dragon Slayers. They say there's an open space at the top of the mountain where they played the tune of monster calling, only to incur the dragon's wrath. They say a raging serpent unleashes a furious assault for a while, and then has to rest for the same amount of time. What difference would it make? Nobody has ever survived such an onslaught anyway. Wow, these people are just lacking confidence, I say. Oh boy. There's really not much else to figure or sort out in the town. I mean, we can talk to another guy over here, Roswell. And Roswell, I believe, is going to be very important later. But our land is unfortunate, but shouldn't we worry about what's even more important? We must keep our eyes on the sky, not the ground. That's right, I'm talking about enemies from the stars. Forces of chaos are encroaching upon us from the sea of stars. Nobody here listens to me, but you're different, right? That's going to be a big deal a little later in the game. And you have no idea how weird it gets. Alright. But just the guy's name alone should give you an idea of what he's talking about. Let's make it save. And this is a great place for us to stop for right now. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JackTardStudios for more live JRPG action, as well as our tabletop show and more. Don't miss out on that. And check out Hobo Headcrab Blind Plays. He'll be blind playing through some awesome retro games, and he's never played them before. And he is an RPG fan from a generation that is younger than mine. So, a lot younger than mine. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you guys next time.